I feel like you're not listening. I feel worried. I feel like this isn't a good conversation. But are those expressions truly how we feel? Or are we adding extra layers to make difficult things easier to say? You're not feeling anything. You're actually being even more indirect. A way of deflecting without engaging the other person. It's lazy and think because it acknowledges the presence of an emotion but conceals more than reveals. It's almost like an onion. You're adding a layer of abstraction in order to make the message you're trying to communicate more palatable. I feel like, and now you're thinking instead of feeling. Feeling is difficult. Processing is difficult. When I was in a T group workshop, we had 11 people, 2 facilitators, and we spent 3 days, almost like 10 hours every day, talking about our feelings. And it was incredibly challenging, especially for someone like me who tends to process emotions very slowly or after the fact or a few days later or months later. The facilitators kept encouraging us to get specific. Where do we feel it in your body? I don't know. But I knew that positive emotions were somewhat easier, like maybe a smile, maybe that warmth in the hands, or maybe like a tingling feeling. But the negative ones were very hard. And I even had a moment where I completely dissociated. I was talking about my feelings of being ashamed, and afterwards I couldn't even understand anything for the next 20 minutes. That experience pushed me outside of my window of tolerance, and this is a term for that zone where we feel balanced, where we feel like we can handle the stress, the emotions without getting overwhelmed. And when we're outside of that window, it's hard to think clearly, and sometimes we react in ways that don't serve us. So I was actually entering that hypo-arousal state. And so for 20 minutes, I was going spacey, couldn't think clearly, completely disengaged. My body wasn't even moving. And I was watching these 2 people talk to one another, and all I could see is their mouths moving. It was so interesting because it was the first time I could see myself dissociating in real time. By noticing what was happening, I was asking for in-the-moment attention. And this was helping me get back into that window of tolerance so I can have access to my feelings. By using techniques like breathing, noticing the emotions, the environment, your body, and then utilizing the 5 senses, I could bring myself back into that window of tolerance. Be present enough to access my feelings. So much of the time, we try to avoid feeling. But to understand ourselves, we need access to that subconscious part of ourselves. It's easy to conceptualize, it's easy to intellectualize the things around us, but there's not a presence to really work through the feeling. And how do we do this? Notice questions are things you can't answer without paying attention in the moment. So ask yourself, are you asking questions that invite noticing or thinking? And are there physical sensations that you're aware of right now? Answers come from observing, not thinking. And when we start to feel, we get access to our subconscious. Our body is trying to tell us something. What is it trying to say? Maybe your head just slumped as you just said something. Maybe you just smiled and you let out a positive emotion, or you felt this energy that was going through your body. Can you feel the sensations and notice details? For me, those physical sensations were the key to understanding that at that time that I was dissociating, afterwards I was feeling a mix of overwhelm and curiosity. And I want to ask you to just take a moment right now, notice your body, notice your sensations, your feelings. What are you feeling right now? And right now. And don't worry if you're feeling overwhelmed. Awareness of how you're feeling, even the negative emotions, is the first step. Be patient with yourself and be brave enough to truly feel. And maybe give yourself the task of tracking how you felt this week and see if it makes you feel more present. Maybe set a reminder to check in with yourself daily. I actually got this feelings window. It's just a pillow now and it's right on my couch. I got this wheel to try to better understand how I'm feeling, and I highly recommend it. It's off Amazon. I use it all the time whenever I'm just on the couch. Definitely recommend it. So When we don't have access to our feelings, we use fillers to replace them. So I encourage everyone to try it out. I feel emotion, I feel blank. Right now, I'm feeling joyful, optimistic, powerful, and loving, a little loving. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you'd like to see and what you would like to see me address in future videos about healing trauma. Thank you so much for listening. This form of communication for me is a way to kind of express things that have always been on my mind, and it brings me an outlet. So I appreciate you taking the time out to just click on this video. Thank you so much.